Hi, welcome to another video. So I've got loads of topics I want to cover. I'm not sure how many of them I'm going to fit in this video or how long this video is going to be. It's going to specifically apply to DSLR users and camcorder users. Now, just because I work in electronics and it's my hobby and I program and I put pictures on these SD cards and read them back on a TFT, doesn't mean I know anything about them. I finally got rid of all my Nikon gear. The D7100 took superb photos with an f2.8 lens, whether it's 24-70 or the 70-200. The 70-200 I had a new Sigma from Amazon. That reminds me of one point about Amazon. Anyway, if I start at the beginning, it's Camcorder cameras. If you're in the UK or in Wales or Scotland, doesn't matter. Camcorder cameras, they're in South Wales. Spoke to the boss today, did a 526 mile round trip, so I'm knackered, so if I forget stuff or make errors, that's why. Traded all my Nikon gear and the new Sigma lenses in for this Panasonic HC-X1000. Now, a couple of reasons I went for Panasonic. This camera filming me is a Panasonic, and I was really impressed with the image stability, and it's got external mic and that sort of stuff. This is only HD, and it records at AVC HD 28 megabits per second. So that's 28 megabits per second, so that's what I'm going to talk about memory cards. This Panasonic HC-X1000 came out probably over a year ago. It's the world's first, according to Panasonic, the world's first 4K camera to record 50 and 60p to conventional memory cards, SD memory cards. So 50 or 60p at data rates, all Intra 200 megabits per second. I think some of the MP4 formats are 150 and they go down to 50 megabits a second, which is actually broadcast quality. Now this camera I've got, the highest quality AVC HD, 28 megabits, and that's it, that's the best quality. However, having said that, put this video onto my Panasonic Plasma after it's rendered. It's super quality pictures, whether it's a wedding, holiday. I'm really impressed with Panasonic, so that's why I'm sticking with Panasonic. And before I forget, in case some of you wonder what's this Wi-Fi that Panasonic have on their cameras, other manufacturers do, but this X920 has Wi-Fi. I've just turned it on to show you with this iPhone. I know it certainly works with the Apple operating system, not sure about Android, probably does. But, so I can start recording with this camera, and say you've got this set up on a bride or groom, you're not allowed to stand behind the priest and mess about with the camera. You normally have to go and sit down, especially at registry office. You can turn on the Wi-Fi on the camera, pick it up with this iPhone, get the picture. Hopefully you can see this. Actually, I can't turn my display on and turn it round, because once the picture comes onto the phone, the display on the camera is disabled. So I can get the picture and zoom in and out remotely. So that's one of the features of the Wi-Fi. In case if you're new to Panasonic or new to video cameras, that's one of the Wi-Fi functions. So if I zoom in, there's a bit of lag. Well, so I can see my head's coming out of shot, and if I keep this phone in the middle, that's the phone. Let's try it a bit more. Don't know which way I want to go with this phone. I've got out of view now. Let me put it back. So that's one of the Wi-Fi functions. So you can zoom in, zoom out without having to stand behind the camera. With some instances you're not allowed to be behind the camera. Zoom in and out, start recording, take snapshots. I'm sure it's got loads of other functions. And there's a menu on the camera, and I just use this basic one. sometimes. Usually I can't actually be bothered to set it up. I'll turn it on, record a bit, see where I'm sitting, and I thought, right, that'll do. But I thought, if you're new to Panasonic or new to video cameras and you want to know what's this Wi-Fi, well, that's one of the functions of the Wi-Fi. This 4K Panasonic, the HC-X1000, I believe has Wi-Fi too. I haven't even opened it yet. I wanted to show you the Wi-Fi first. So that's Wi-Fi, but actually, so I can stop and start recording and everything. But so this is recording at 28 megabits. Now I went down, as I say, to Camcorder Cameras, South Wales, a really helpful and knowledgeable team. Today I specifically spoke to Matthew, he's the boss. Traded in the Nikon, the D7100, all the lenses, as I say. We were talking about memory cards, and he said what memory card was in the Nikon. I said I left a memory card in. I said just it was a PNY. I remembered the initial because it reminds me of Pony. But it turns out a PNY memory card, unless the ones I had were fake from China, which is highly probable, Camcorder Camera said they're able to recover data from, like corrupt cards. I think he said, he said a lot at the time, but one of the worst offenders for memory cards was the memory card I left in the Nikon, which was the PNY. I think it was a 16 gig. This one's like a Kingston 64. But I saw a review on this Panasonic, and so bearing in mind it can shoot up to 200 megabits a second. I'm thinking, well, if you've got a memory card like this Kingston's a good brand, I use Kingston memory on the PC. This one says it's 30 megabits. I thought, how can a 4K camera record 200 megabits to a 30 megabit memory card? Now that's where my lack of knowledge comes into play. I've had the Nikon camera and this Panasonic, various other cameras, and they haven't needed an extremely high data rate to work. What I did notice using a PNY card on the Nikon, if I had it on fast shutter or high speed shutter, the buffer would come in many times, and that's because it was writing to a slow card. Turned out today, if you look at the PNY memory cards on eBay, for example, they quote a turbo performance, £48 for 32 gig. I think the Kingstons are cheaper. What Matthew sold me, which is all the cash I had on me, he sold me this Lexar. So Lexar I could make, SanDisk, and he had another one there now, but so I didn't know. Lexar are recommended, SanDisk are recommended, obviously the Panasonic are recommended. This is a 32 gigabyte SDHC, so SD secure digital high capacity, but it says 1,000 times speed, but more importantly it quotes the data rate 150 megabits a second. So that will do for one of the higher MPEG-4 settings on this camera. So I didn't know this 30 megabyte card that I've been using in this Panasonic that's recording me now, that's 30 megabits, that's only just capable of catching the AVCHD that the Panasonic camera produces. If I put this in this camera, it's not going to work properly. The data isn't going to be written fast enough on this card, and I'll get, I don't know, crappy pictures, or it just won't work. So, I didn't know. That's those. I didn't know the variance on these memory cards. So this is just a small baby one, 32 gig, $29.99. I fully recommend going to a decent high street shop, a camera shop, and getting some quality memory cards for your gear. If you, chances are, if you get the PNY, he said there's a good likelihood you'll lose your data eventually. But if you have lost some data, give Camcorder Cameras a call, send them the card, and they'll try and recover it for you. So that's what I learned today. Various speeds on memory cards. I asked someone a question on YouTube after I watched the review on this. I said they advertised the Panasonic 64 gig but the speed was 45 megabits. So I said to them, how can you get 150 megabits on a 45 megabit card? And they didn't respond. And it's only today I've seen you can actually spend upwards of £109 on like a 16 gig card, I think it was, that does 250 megabits a second, which is what I'm going to need to capture the full 4K at 50-60p, yeah, 200 megabits a second, if I want the best quality. So yeah, tip on memory card. So is it Lexar, SanDisk, Panasonic? I would stick to the high street shops, not eBay, because you're probably going to get a fake unless a reputable seller. Yeah, Camcorder cameras. I'm not sure if I've made myself clear. So if you've got some reasonable camera gear, whether it's all the brands that Camcorder cameras deal with, they specialise in Canon, Nikon, Pentax, Olympus, Panasonic, Fujifilm. I'm a professional dealer for all those brands. So if you've got a reasonable camera and you want to trade it in and upgrade, give one of the guys at Camcorder Cameras a shout. They will. You can send some photos of your equipment. Give them a shout. They'll tell you what sort of money they'll give you for it, and you can upgrade, whether it's lenses, cameras. I think they've got the Hero 4. Is that the 4K one? Yeah, a stack of lenses, all the top lenses for Canon, Nikon, Pentax. They've got the Sonys. Actually, Sony's not mentioned on there, but they've got the Sony, is it the i7 or 700? They've got those down there. So if you're in the UK and you want some expert camera advice, they do mail order from their shop, but more importantly, if you're buying from a reputable dealer who have got a physical premises, you know you're buying a UK spec product, not an import. I'm led to believe some sellers on Amazon will purchase some European stuff and sell it on Amazon, and Amazon sell it, because Amazon are also in the UK, they sell it as a UK stock, but the parts may have come from Europe or even China, Japan, whatever. So be wary about where you're buying your products. They're not the cheapest, but you're getting decent UK stock from a UK dealer with professional advice. Right, so now I'll go and open this Panasonic HC-X1000. And so that's the Wi-Fi. So now I'm going to open this camera box. So if you don't want to see the camera, or you're not interested in this specific camera, you can turn off now. Thank you very much.